Hi everybody, thank you for coming, thank you for being here. I know we have some problems with Facebook, so we will not be live on Facebook right now. We are on Zoom, so for those of you who are on Zoom, well done. Thank you for waiting a little bit for us to see if we can sort out Facebook. So unfortunately, we cannot do the both of them in separately in the same time actually, because they need permission to the same camera. So we're not able to have Facebook Live right now. But you will have the recording. I'll post the recording in the group. So now, for those of you who catch the recording, thank you for tuning in. This is Sharpen the Saw message on Wednesday evening, and I have a little bit of time with you today, and I have some notes here that I want to share with you. And the idea of these we can call them maybe shows, or we can call them just drop-ins. Like I'm sharing with you what I'm learning on my entrepreneurial journey, and I want you to to learn from my mistakes and to learn from my learnings, so you don't have to make the same mistakes that I already made. And so now, what we will be speaking today is about what is called to be mass consciousness and popular thinking. And what I mean by that is that we have been programmed by being just bombarded and exposed to news, to social media, to other people's opinions, to our environment that we've been brought up into. All of those influences, actually all of those means of influence have an impact on what it is that we actually try or don't try in our life. And just let me give you some examples what I mean by that, and what does this mass consciousness means, or popular thinking. Like, popular thinking would say that you have to exercise if you want to lose weight. But if you take the time and research a subject and maybe read some books on it from some researchers and medical doctors, you will realize that actually exercising, it's only 10% of the factors that determine someone's shape and physical appearance. But the rest, 90% of it, it's diet. It's what we eat. And mass consciousness would say, if you want to lose weight, go to the gym, exercise 3 times a week. Yeah, it helps, but that's not the big part of it. So if we follow mass consciousness and we don't think and we don't actually challenge that and say, I mean, I've been trying to lose weight for a while, and I've been exercising, and I couldn't see much of a change. So now maybe it's time for me to look at these things in a different way and try to see what it is that maybe is flawed in this thinking. So that's popular thinking, that's mass thinking. Again, we have this thinking that has been imprinted on us, that and you can see this a lot in the United States, sugar-free and fat-free products, right? And then we have been told that in order to stay healthy, in order to not gain weight, you should avoid fat. But instead, if you take the time to research the subject and to again look into some researches that have been done by experts, you will figure out that it's actually carbs that we should stay away from. So mass consciousness, popular thinking says avoid sugar, avoid carbs, right? Sugar is carbs as well, but they say avoid fat. Fat makes you fat, but actually it's carbs who makes you fat. And again, I can go with these examples again and again. We pay too much attention on what we eat and less attention on when we eat, because mass consciousness is okay. You need to have three meals a day and 2 snacks in between. And so if you again take the time and research and challenge that thinking, then you'll figure out that when we eat, it's more important than what we eat. This was this Monday, I discussed with an entrepreneur, and he was actually a self-employed entrepreneur, and he was selling his services, his time, and he was looking to go into a new, into a new business, into a new field. And whenever he was talking with someone in that field, a company or organization, they were looking for him to have experience in the field. Like if you want to go into an automotive field, then you need to have 10 years of experience in the automotive field. And this is, again, popular thinking. I mean, this is common sense. When someone employs someone or someone hires someone to do some work, they look for what experience does the person have in the field. And they completely neglect the fact that someone coming from outside the field comes with an experience, with a personality, with a point of view which is outside the box, and it would challenge the processes and the way the company does things, and that's only beneficial. That's progress, right? So instead of us challenging that thinking that someone needs to have experience in a certain field to be able to work in that field, then we just follow the masses, and we say, I mean, yeah, if you speak with recruiters, then yeah, it's common sense for the person to have a number of experience in the field. So again, if we let this thinking unchallenged and we follow the popular thinking, then we miss on opportunities. And so the question is, I mean, where do you rely on popular thinking? Like, what trends do you follow? Because sometimes, if a number of people follow a certain trend, doesn't mean that actually that's a good idea, or that someone has thought through that idea. I can give an example. Just recently, was quite tragical. Some earthquakes happen in the Philippines, and I have a person on my team that helps me and works from there, and they've been touched by 3 earthquakes in a matter of probably 10 days or something like that. And so what happens after one of those earthquakes, someone put on social media just a post that the tsunami wave would come and hit the shore. And so people were, scared, and people were, frightened, and they just, evacuated homes, and they were on the street, and there was completely chaos. And no one has searched or questioned if that was a true, a true news, right? It was, is that the instruction that has been given by the authorities or not? And it has been, proven that it was a fake news. But people followed the masses. People didn't, question if that's true or not. They didn't look for maybe an official announcement or something from the government. They just follow what some people shared on social media, and people shared something that they probably thought is true, right? But they didn't question it. So again, we can easily follow the masses and go, maybe spread something which is not true, or we haven't thought it true, and it's not our opinion. It might be someone else's opinion. But I had more is, for example, I mean, here in Sweden, I think it's complete madness with this insurance. So I probably get a call or 2 every week from someone trying to sell me some kind of insurance. So you have house insurance, you have car insurance, then you have life insurance, then you have a credit, a loan, then you have insurance for that. You have insurance for your phone. Someone tried to sell me insurance for the part of the home insurance that doesn't cover my phone, for example, because my home insurance will only cover part of it. So they wanted to sell me insurance for the other part, which is not covered. So all kind of insurance. And so now mass consciousness, and especially here in Sweden, is like, it's good to have insurance. But no one questions what actually happens when you have insurance, right? And what happens, I mean, from my perspective at least, is that I give my responsibility of my phone, my house, my my car to someone else. I mean, I don't need to take care of my car. I don't need to take care of my phone because I have insurance. And then if you extend this a little bit, when you think about life insurance, when you think about maybe unemployment insurance, then I don't need to think about, getting a new employment. I don't need to, be intentional about myself growing and preparing for a next job if I lose my job, because I have insurance. So this is again mass consciousness. This is again common thinking. And so what I'm saying is that we do things because other people do those things, and we just follow the masses. And the question that we want to ask ourselves is, where do we follow someone else's thinking, and maybe we need to stop and challenge that thinking a little bit and see, is that really true? Is that really maybe serving me? I mean, it's easy to follow other people, and for example, this is natural. I remember when I was in Romania, going to the marketplace, where, I mean, this is disappearing in this part of the world, like in the Western countries, and maybe you can see this in south of France, still maybe Italy, but the real market where people in the countryside, or maybe in the small cities, where people just come in with their goods like vegetables and sell them, that kind of market. But you can see that in the flea market if you want. So I challenge you to just take the time and analyze this whenever you are visiting a market, and look how this the masses work and move. Like, you would see, and I saw that many times, like two old ladies selling their vegetables, like one beside the other, right? And a person comes and stops, picks one of them, and stops and looks at some maybe tomatoes that they want to buy, and then in the next minute or two, another person come in, and instead of going to the other lady which didn't have any client, the second person stops at the same lady that had already a client looking to buy into something. Then when the third and the fourth person come, they don't go to to the counter where was no one. They go to the same counter when there were already 2 or 3 people, because if someone is buying from this lady instead of the other lady, it must be that their tomatoes are better, or their vegetables are better. So they just, instead of them, thinking and making the decision, they just, follow the crowds, right? And so if you look at that, and if you want to analyze that, you would see that's very common in whenever there is people, whenever there is the biggest queue at maybe street food counter or shop, whenever there is the longest queue. You could see this in Italy or in France when you go at one of these ice cream shops, and you could see there is 2 or 3 of them, but one of them, it's full, it's 20, 30 people in the queue, and the other 2 are just completely empty. And it's not that difference in the ice cream. It's so big between the 3 shops, and someone has done a study and they have decided that this is better than the other one. It's just that we naturally tend to go and follow other people, because if someone is ahead of us, then we think that they might have thought through this decision, and that's why they bought from there, and it's safer. We'll just follow someone else, right? It's not our decision. So again, we can challenge this thinking every day, almost like every day. I mean, the question that you want to ask yourself is, when was the last time when you did something new? When was the last time when you did something for the first time? Like, when did you try something new, something, whatever that is? Like, for example, you could do this almost every day. Like, I'm sure many of you commute to a workplace, whether you drive a company and you go to the office of the company, or you're an entrepreneur, you need to meet someone in some place, or you just are still in unemployment. you go to work. So what stops you in trying a new road to go to work? Like just earlier today, I've been in the city, and I usually use Google Maps, and they showed me 3 alternatives, and I pick one which I haven't traveled before, and as a coincidence, I just found a Greek restaurant, which is something that I will try in probably next weekend or the weekend after this one. So again, try a different way to go to work, a different road. Maybe try a different bus line. Try maybe a different tram line. So you would, or subway. So you would see some different places. You would meet maybe some different people. Try a new restaurant. Try a new travel destination. Try a new. Why not try a new dish at your preferred restaurant? So every day we could challenge, the way we do things, and challenge the popular thinking or this mass consciousness, which has made some decision for us. And so, because it might be comfortable to follow the masses, but I guess if you are watching this video now, and if you are in this group, or if you're following me on Facebook, and you're watching this, you probably want a little bit more than just an average life, because mass consciousness or popular thinking, it's nothing special about it, right? So that's the average. Like the average people do this. There will be some which don't, and some which completely do different things. But the average, this is kind of the average. The average person has insurance for almost all the things that I just counted earlier. The average person would probably do that decision when they go into maybe a shop or ice cream shop. So if you're listening here, and if you're watching this, you have higher aspirations. You don't want to live an average life. You don't want to follow someone else's thinking. You want to follow your thinking, and you want to have different results. That's why you're here. And to have different results and to have better results, you need to improve your thinking. So I think the first step, and where you should start, is to start questioning what you do daily. Like if every day, and I know people that every week they eat the same food. I know people that every week they have the same kind of Monday to Wednesday we have a lunchbox, and this is kind of bolognese pasta, right? Or fries with some meat. So this is kind of the same food. So I encourage you to challenge the things you do daily, because whenever you want to challenge something big, so I will not ask you to challenge and look for a different job or different field, or start something new, or maybe start a business. No, that's a little bit of a stretch, but develop the habit of challenging things and looking at things in a different way. Develop the habit of challenging whatever you do. Now, this is Wednesday evening, and we're in the middle of the week. So now look back at these 3 days that just passed from this week, Monday to Wednesday, and look about some things that you kind of, they are kind of a habit of yours, right? So if you look at how every Mondays, pass by in your agenda or in your calendar, if you look how Tuesdays look like, maybe there are things there that you could challenge, and you could do those in a different way, like disrupt a little bit the rhythm that you're in, and you might find that there are things that maybe work in a better way than you do them today. So the message is, take a little bit of time and reflect upon how you do certain things and how those things serve you, and you know, challenge them and start trying some new things. So I would love to see your comments. When was the last time when you tried something new? When was the last time when you tried something for the first time? And you know, share this with someone. If someone needs to hear this message, share this with them. But I look forward to see your comments in the post, and I'm looking to see if someone is commenting on this. No? Yeah. So this was it. This is the message. Thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you soon. I hope to see you maybe next time. Facebook will work. This time didn't work. So this is just a recording. So thank you for tuning in. Take care and see you soon. Bye-bye.